What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Siouxsie and the Banshees. As always, big shout out to Nicola, who has sent not only the regular album for A Kiss in the Dream House, but there are a number of B-sides or bonus tunes in the same folder, so we'll have more than the proper album to go through. And we're up to Cocoon, which, I did a reaction to a Massive Attack tune earlier called Protection. I feel like there's certainly some of the same themes I'm going to talk about here, which is to say a cocoon is not only protective, but it allows for the development of whatever entity is within the cocoon. Now, whether that's biologically speaking or just figuratively and metaphorically, the way people will talk about enveloping themselves in a cocoon and perhaps emerging after a chrysalis in a different state, yes, I imagine there will be metaphorical or figurative understandings of the concept at play here, perhaps using the imagery of a literal biological cocoon. Of course, I do think of the 80s. I think it was an 80s movie. Ultimately, I don't remember it that well. I think it was a movie that my parents had watched or rented, and I was sort of in the room for part of it, but nevertheless, as an 80s kid, that comes back to me in the moment. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Siouxsie and the Banshees. The track is Cocoon, and it's from the 1982 album A Kiss in the Dream House. Oh. Oh. Sounds like we're setting the stage for a bit of spoken word jazz poetry.
In my car when the car loves me. I'll stay here a while in the cotton walk cocoon till the chrysalis is right, till the time is right. With this feeling of insecurity, I have to shrink back inside your miracle. Back in the cocoon, hugging my knees, watching my insides, the skin glow bright. Lying in blankets, I've been here a while, tapping the rhythms against the mattress. The heat melts the sheets under the layers clean.
So many sounds, including that bass.
Still finding charms in the memory of those constrictor arms, glowing in the dark in my windows. Slowly to glisten, bathed in a gloss on the stand, with my heat detector. Lying in blankets, I've been here a while, tapping the rhythm
Incredible. What do you say? It's like characteristically dark and atmospheric, like a lot of Siouxsie and the Banshees tunes. There's some dissonance, some other dimensional type of soundscapes, but it's mixed with this mid 20th century visual performance jazz feel, as well as my brain was hearing it, sort of like experimental art rock in the vein of like Japan, maybe. Like, just an incredible synthesis of sounds. I think Siouxsie sounds fantastic in her, you know, performer walking around among the crowd and pointing at people and interacting in the way of that classic, again, like mid 20th century jazz type of feel, which is funny because I'm going through a Sinead O'Connor album right now where it seems that's essentially the sonic flavor of the album. But this was different. This was twisted with a bit of darkness, a bit of dissonance, a bit of uncertainty, and lots of layers of abstract sounds like chimes and screeches, something that's sort of like this bird static, all these different layers. And I think there was like a human scream at some point, so a whole lot going on sonically. In terms of the lyrics, we're definitely hearing references to going back inside something. There was something about like arms coming around, which again, good connection or tie-in or crossover with the Massive Attack reaction I did. But also chrysalis, something about being in the cocoon, I think, for a while and then emerging in this different state, waiting for that transition to happen. So I don't know the context in which those characteristic components to the role and experience of a cocoon are happening, but definitely I think drawing on that biological concept and the themes that relate to it in relation to some human interactions and life trajectory. So yeah, be curious to hear what people have to say about this one thematically, but sonically I love it, just fantastic, and in a way, as I said, indicative of some different sonic flavors, reminding me of some different genres and groups, but very much Siouxsie and the Banshees in their own domain, in their own lane. So fantastic. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.